Hello all on YouTube, Shadowsun here. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, this is a channel where I share my experiences as a pagan who is blind, and I also identify as Wiccan and as a witch. So you will see various videos talking about different experiences I've had within the context of paganism and witchcraft. I'm hoping to do also more demonstrational videos in the near future as well. So in this video, I want to talk about the celebration of Samhain. I don't want to get too much in the history of Samhain just because I feel like there's a lot of other videos out there that do it way better than me, but for many practitioners, it's going to mean, a lot of different things to different people. For me, it signifies the beginning of a new year. I know for many, it's a different experience. I think of it as a new year just because of the whole harvest association, and also just because it has that seasonal shift to it. I believe in celebrating the holidays, also known as Sabbats, as celebrating in a seasonal way. And where I live, it's pretty weird weather right now. When I celebrated Samhain, we were having nothing but wind and a lot of crazy fire-like weather, at least from what I remember, and at least in my area anyway. But I noticed that this time of year, leaves are falling, it's getting cooler, and excuse me, so when I celebrated Samhain, I mentioned in my preparation for Samhain video that it was going to be a solemn occasion, and it definitely was. I feel like Samhain is one of those celebrations that really is for solitaries in a specific way if you practice alone, just because of the not seriousness of it, but because of the nature of how it focuses on honoring people who've passed away, at least in my personal practice. This is all my personal opinion, but focusing on death and what that means, and what I did along with honoring people this time around. I honored some people recently. Samhain also had a full moon to it, or a blue moon, which refers to the second full moon in a month, in the same calendar month. So we had one on October 1st, and then we had one on October 31st. So that being said, I celebrated the full moon by charging crystals. Under the moonlight, I created some moon water. I will probably do a video on that as well. I created an altar for my ritual, and it was a very formal occasion, so I did cast circle. It's not something I do so regularly in my practice anymore, but it's definitely something I do as part of ritual. And I did call the quarters, or the elementals, or watchtowers. It depends. You will hear different people say different things based on what they practice. And I focused on using what I had around me. So I have a lot of crystals, so I used 5 different crystals to represent each element, and I say 5 because I have an association with spirit. So I used a crystal to associate with spirit. In my case, it would be some type of quartz, whether it's clear quartz or amethyst. One of those two usually is the case. And then I used other crystals like carnelian to represent fire, and citrine for air, and so forth. And I meditated on people. I meditated on this year. This year has been crazy for many of us, and for myself included. I'm in a major transition, so I meditated on that transition. I meditated on what I wanted to release, and I banished things that I felt I needed to release that don't serve me in my life right now. And I did so in a very specific way. I couldn't burn it away, so I used crystals. And crystals, because most of the crystals that I use, they all are natural, they come from the earth. So I felt like because of those things that I banished, they're going to take time. So I'm letting it happen naturally and organically. And I also meditate on something I wanted to work on during the transition period, because this is a very unknown time, not just with what's going on in the world, the election, that whole mess, and the pandemic notwithstanding. I meditated on what this transition is for me. What am I going into? What am I going to reflect on? And I focused on something that I wanted to bring in as part of the new year, something I wanted to work on that would help me during this transition and also throughout the year. Also, I focused on honoring people, like I mentioned, because I couldn't light candles. I used certain things to represent the people I wanted. I referenced them in ways that were specific to them. And I believe that, that really helped me. And I also meditated on what they meant for me, and I focused on positive memories of these people that have passed recently, and even, a few years down the line. And finally, one of the most important aspects for me with Samhain, and for many years since I've began my practice, it wasn't so much in the beginning, but it definitely has taken a turn. And I'm sorry, I keep blinking. Excuse me. So I did some divination as part of my celebration, and I divined to see what was going on for the next year. What are my challenges? What am I gonna, need to know during this transition period? And that was beneficial for me because I received a lot of wonderful messages that are gonna help me. And I also, got a few other things as well. So those are just some of the ways that I've celebrated. I also wrote a blog post to this discussion. So if you're interested in looking at that, check out the links below. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please see the description below for more details. If you've liked what you've seen so far, feel free to subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. And if you do so, please remember to set it to all, and also please remember to make sure that the notifications are turned on by doing so, because if you turn it to personalized, you're not going to get anything. And from what I'm hearing, the algorithm happens if you watch the video, but not if you don't. So you may have to check your subscriptions section to see what videos have popped up. So hope all are well. Stay safe. Everybody, please, be kind to yourselves, and please just try to work on staying calm as best you can. And mental health is important, and I just feel like that was important to share. Anyway, speak soon. Many blessings.